What is going on, guys? EXO community, how you guys doing? We're actually doing the EDL power rankings this time, and since it's a tag team, joining me today is actually going to be Galaxy Bomb.
Hello, everyone. I am Galaxy Ball.
So, yeah, basically how tag team works is you group up with one other person, you make a team. One person picks five, the other person picks five, and so on and so forth. Then we battle on one account. So today, like I said, we're going over power rankings, and we ranked everything accordingly. Of course, this doesn't really matter too much. This is just us predicting. So, for our seventh or last pick is actually going to be 11th pick. Funny enough. And how do you feel about this team, actually?
I think they have some interesting choices. I'm not sure how well they synergize together. Something like Darmanitan Galar was really strong in Generation 8 when we didn't have the National Dex Pokemon, but with the increase in the roster, I feel like there's a lot more answers to make it less oppressive. And I'm not sure how well it synergizes with the rest of their team.
Okay. Yeah, I do agree with that as well. They do have their cores done, which is great. Mega Latias, I feel like Latios is just better at this point because it
Yeah.
learns everything that Latias does, and it is more offensive. And it looks like he has defensive things down. He just needs a few more offensive things, as well as Charizard not having Sun unless he puts Sunny Day on like Claydol or something. That's a little silly. We got Togekiss, which also can be useful in Sun, which if he has a Sun user or a Sun setter, great. But without it, it's a little bit weird. Still, I do like the team, and um, I don't think that this team is going to be last in overall, but I think we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So
Yeah, I think overall, if they do run a sunsetter, the momentum will be slower than something with drought, of course. Um, but I think because there were only 7 teams in this matchup, no team is really that weak comparatively. It's just like the teams seem pretty close, but of course there has to be a last place for someone.
correct. Yeah, I agree. And for our number six, we're actually going to pick the Weird Time Zone Gang. For this team, I like the Mega with Shell Smash being a thing now. It's really great on Blastoise, especially Mega Blastoise. The Mew is a great pickup as well. We did see a swap. I think all these Pokemon work well, except for a few at the bottom, and I think you want to voice.
Yeah, I immediately noticed there's Tangela for Tangela, Blissey, and Pyukumuku, which are 3 stall-oriented Pokemon, which can work well, but in a draft situation where you know some of the picks that your opponent will likely run, it probably won't work out in your favor a lot of the time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Pyukumuku and Blissey, they could be good, but we don't really have high hopes for them. Every other Pokemon, like even Tangela, in some ways is useful with like Leech Seed and Sleep Powder, but yeah, other than that, other than the Blissey and Pyukumuku, I think this team can do pretty well.
Yeah, they do have very strong Pokemon. Like Toxtricity has shown a lot of potential, especially if they have good coverage against its ground weakness, which it seems like they do. So I think they definitely can work very well if they pick accordingly to their matchups.
Yeah. And for our next one is going to be number five, the Northeast Noivrons. So this team we're actually versing this week. How do you feel about this team actually?
I have no idea what to expect. We've been talking a lot about what they might bring, but if you look closely, you'll see they have is that 4 weather setters or is that 3?
Yes, that is four.
There's 4 weather setters, all different. You've got rain, you've got sun, you've got hail, and you've got a sandstorm. So they can pretty much bring a lot of different strategies, which makes predicting them very difficult, but it also makes synergizing really finicky on their team. So it's got upsides and it's got downsides. Um, So it can really go either way.
Yeah, I it's gonna be tough because like if we prep for or if anyone preps for like rain and sand or rain and hail or whatever, and they bring the total opposite thing of what you're thinking, you may be screwed. And I think that's the best part about their team is it's very unpredictable, and that's why we put them not at the lowest, but actually at around the middle.
Yeah.
I do like the Mega, of course, with Rain is great. Zapdos is just great overall. It's a good mon overall, and the Venusaur I actually really like because it does learn Earth Power now as well as Weather Ball with Chlorophyll. So even even if it's not running Sun, technically with Venusaur, Weather Ball can still hurt.
Yeah, and something like Beartic has both Slush Rush and Swift Swim, so it can work in either situation. So they do have a bit of flexibility there. Plus, of course, the Castform can come in on any team.
Right, of course. Castform is just their best Pokemon on their team.
Yes, it has so much versatility.
I mean,
If you cannot tell, I think we're being a little sarcastic.
no. I'm not. I don't know about you. It's Castform's the best. Anyways, so rounding off our middle for number 4, we have the Seattle Jose Stunfetched. Okay, so this team on paper looks really good. I think the Mega Lopunny is great. I think the Dracovish is scary. You know, I really dislike the Dracovish. Savali can be good. Whimsicott can be good. You got Celesteela, Cinderace. I mean, you name it. A lot of these Pokemon are threatening.
I do think their one weakness is they have a lack of flexibility because their flex or weaker Pokemon like Stunfisk and Farfetch, while it is their signatures, as you can see by their wonderful profile image, um, they are a lot weaker than the rest of their Pokemon, which means if they pick them, they lose a lot of power, which means most people will just prep for their strongest Pokemon.
Right? Yeah, I definitely agree. There's only like 7 good choices here. I mean, I don't really count Crystal as like a good choice. It's slow unless you like run Trick Room. It's not going to be that useful. So I think it's going to be tough for them to really hold on to their mascots, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they definitely don't have a lot of flexibility, but they are where they are because their core Pokemon are so powerful.
Yeah. And for number 3, it's going to be us. Oh, what do you know? How do you like our team actually?
I think we're very well rounded. I think a lot of our Pokemon cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. Um, though I do think, especially compared to the upcoming people, we may lack a focus while we kind of specialize in that equality across the board, if that makes sense.
A little bit. I think I understand what you're saying. I do like our team in the sense that we have a lot of setup mines. We could set up with Sableye Calm Mind. We could set up with Zygarde. We could set up even like Embor. We could set up really a lot of Pokemon. Corviknight. Even to an extent, Starmie has a few setup moves. So a lot of our Pokemon can set up under Veil. So I think that's really cool. Of course, we do have a few things going with Smeargle. We have some setup with it. We do have Garbodor, which can also set up, and Cradily, which is very defensive as well as it is a Dracovish check with Storm Drain. So
Yeah,
I think we
I
have
do think
everything.
I do think our strongest factor is the fact that our Pokemon can use a variety of different sets, and that can maybe really throw off the opponent because this is a best of one situation up until playoffs. Um, we can kind of catch people off guard and hit them before they have a chance to recover.
Yeah, I totally agree. The only thing is we are weak to, now that I'm looking at it, could be like fire. We do have like a steel type and 2 ice types, but then we do have checks for that with Zygar and such. So we do have a few weaknesses, but we are able to check them with a lot of our Pokemon, so that's pretty good. For our number 2, and this was close for me. It's gonna be Team Obstagotum. So Team Obstagotum, they have a lot of Pokemon that I have used in the past, and in the present, I guess. We have Tapu Koko Lucha, which carried me in the GPL. We have Crustle, which was also my GPL team, and then we have Jirachi, which is on my team for the GPL right now. So they have a lot of Pokemon that I used or have used in the past, and I really like their picks. I like the Mega Venusaur being able
I think the
to,
Vaporeon is an extremely strong pick for them. I think it's going
yes,
to help them a lot.
yeah, especially with the Wish setup as well. There's not the problem with this team, and the problem that we both saw is that it's only offensive pressure is Coco and Lucha, and maybe Crustle if it like sets up a Shell Smash, maybe Druddigon. But other than that, like everything's pretty defensive.
Yeah, it definitely seems to rely on supporting the combo with Tapu Koko and Halucha, but if something goes wrong and one of them dies early or gets crippled in some way, it seems like it's going to be very hard for them to recover after that point.
Yeah, totally agree. And then for our number one, if you haven't already known, it is going to be Overdrive DS. So this team looks very similar to Transil's team, where they had both have Zeraora and Alolan Persian. Both were on Transil's GPL team, and honestly, I don't see many weaknesses in this team.
I think their flex picks are very powerful. Persian Alola and Mamoswine especially can set up a lot of momentum and can just run people over if they need to.
Yeah, the only thing that I was a little bit hesitant on putting them here, the only reason why is because I'm not too big of a fan of Lapras, even though Water Absorber versus like Dragonfish and stuff is good. And the Dusclops, I know Shadow, you love to grab your Dusclops, but I don't know how much it works here. You do have a few Trick Room mons that don't work very well with Trick Room, like Mesprit and Dusclops, and then you don't really have anything to push with that. Maybe Finny, I guess it's pretty slow, but other than that, this team looks very solid, so I can't wait to see what happens with it.
100%.
All right, and that's actually going to be our power rankings. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to say anything else, leave it in the comments or check us out in Discord. We will leave everything below. And Galaxy Bomb, you have anything else to say?
I, for one, always like to root for the lowest tier, so I am very hopeful to see 11th pick just rise in the rankings immediately.
I do as well. I think they'll be able to pull out a few wins, and I hope that they'll make it to playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and with that, I'll see you all later. Peace.